A positive thing about the COVID-19 pandemic, besides the 7 million confirmed US cases, are these SEC and ACC football schedules. 10 conference games apiece. And in the case of the SEC, there's no Samfords or Mercers or Citadels. They're only playing games that fans actually want to watch. How about we do this every year? 10 conference games, instead of just 8 or 9 with a couple cupcakes sprinkled in. Makes a whole lot more sense. But in order to do this, every conference needs to have more than 10 teams, and that's where this Power 5 Conference Realignment comes into play. But first, a quick little backstory on me. Over the past 3 years, 86,000 of you have watched my Power 7 Conference Realignment video, where over 1,000 of you liked it, and I appreciate that, and another 1,000, not so much. But hell, I appreciate that feedback as well. The only thing I'm not so into looking back on it is the Power 7 brought back the Southwest Conference, and there's hardly any power in it. Yuck. So this time, we're sticking with the Power 5. But like I said, we need every conference to have more than 10 teams. We're looking at you, Big 12. This past August, when the Big 10 announced the absurd decision to cancel the 2020 fall football season, a week after they announced a schedule, nobody voiced their displeasure more than the University of Nebraska. Go Huskers! As a result, there were those of us out there hoping a divorce was imminent, followed by a reconciliation with the Big 12, who was all set on playing this fall. So that's where this realignment video begins. Nebraska leaves the Big 10 and rejoins the Big 12. But let's not stop there, let's get the whole band back together. First, gotta kick out West Virginia, cause geographically that just makes zero sense. And we'll have the Big 12 back to 12 by also bringing back Texas A&M and Missouri. How much better does that look? Shout out to the Helmet Project, where I got these awesome helmet graphics. There's a link in the description to their site, which contains near-complete helmet histories dating back to 1960 from just about every college and pro football team that's ever existed in the world. Check it out. Okay, I know Colorado's missing, but I think TCU has earned their keep. So I've got the Pac-12 staying the same. I did think about moving Colorado to the Big 12 and adding BYU to the Pac-12, but with the way Utah's been kicking their ass and the fact that they require all students to abstain from sex, drugs, and alcohol, they might have a tough time landing typical Power 5 recruits. However, major props to BYU for being the only college football program on the left coast to refuse to cancel their 2020 season. Go Cougs! Back to the Big 10. Nebraska's already out, but why stop there? Maryland and Rutgers haven't felt good either, so let's dump them and bring in the team everyone wants to see in the Big 10, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Their 10-game ACC schedule this year is a step in the right direction. Let's just put them in the right conference. As for Maryland and Rutgers, we'll put the Terps back in the ACC, and Rutgers back down to the American. I'm sorry, but when your overall Big 10 record since you've joined is 7-45, and you've lost your last 21 conference games by an average of 4 touchdowns per game, that's just not gonna cut it. Bye-bye. Anyways, let's not forget we still have Rutgers' former Big East rival West Virginia floating out there, and they'll be joining Maryland in the newly aligned 14-team ACC. Can you tell which 2 teams are missing from the current alignment? That's right, North Carolina State and Virginia Tech moved to a newly aligned 14-team SEC. 4 southern states already have at least 1 SEC team and 1 ACC team. Why not add a couple more? I figured the Wolfpack would be the least missed out of the ACC from the Research Triangle, and the best fit for the SEC if you consider all of Tobacco Road. And Virginia Tech doesn't have the decades-long membership that Virginia has in the ACC, plus the level of enthusiasm for football in Blacksburg rivals that of a lot of their new SEC counterparts. Now, we're not going to cancel the Virginia Tech rivalry and other non-conference rivalries like COVID-19 has, because on top of your 10-game conference schedule, every Power 5 team will be required to play 1 non-conference game against another Power 5 conference team. So here you go. Every year, we will continue to see these 6 ACC-SEC rivalries play out, and Notre Dame will continue their classic rivalry with USC. As for the other 50 Power 5 teams, you gotta get on the phone and schedule each other. God, I'd bet Kansas's phone would be ringing off the hook. Also, every team has the option to schedule 1 cupcake game every year, essentially a preseason game. So there's your paydays, group of 5 teams. back to the conference games, we will have no divisions within each conference. Because we're going to have a schedule rotation where every player gets a chance to visit every other campus within the conference within a 4-year time span, except for the obvious Florida, Georgia, and Texas, Oklahoma rivalries. Alabama's played Mississippi State forever and rarely plays Georgia. That needs to change. Florida played and beat Kentucky 31 years in a row, and yet they rarely battle Auburn. Get out of here with that. Florida and Kentucky aren't even close to each other. What the hell are we doing? We will, however, keep important historic rivalries within conference intact. These SEC games will continue to be played annually. At the end of the season, instead of playing conference championship games at neutral sites, forcing everybody to travel in the middle of December, we'll have the top 4 teams in the nation host playoff games on campus against the 5th through 8th ranked teams. The playoff rankings will be determined by a playoff committee. The 4 winners that advance to the college football playoff as we know it today, and the national championship game will be held at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada every year, because why would you want to travel anywhere else? So, what do you think? Let me know your thoughts on this Power 5 conference realignment down in the comments below, and especially if you give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Also, be sure to subscribe and click that little bell as we'll be doing more videos like this one every week. My name is David Johnson, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next show.